Hi guys. Thank you so much for joining me. First off, I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me, make sure that the audio is okay before we get started. So please just let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me. The vast majority of my streams that well, really all of them that I've done, for the most part, have been at nighttime. But some people were saying, hey, I can't come and join you. Oh, good. The audio is good. They were saying, hey, can't come and join you because of time zone differences. So I did want to try to make one a little bit earlier in the morning. So yeah, good morning, guys. It is 10:17 here in the morning. It's very good to see all of you. Let me try to make this a little bit bigger so I can see you guys. So unfortunately, because it is the morning, I like to get a lot of stuff done in the morning, and then I like to reserve my nights for, playing games, hanging out, relaxing, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Dynasty Girl says, man, last stream I was fucked up. Girl, same. Okay. So so this day in particular, I'm a little bit busy because at 11 o'clock, that's in roughly 42 minutes according to my clock, we have a landscaper coming over to the house. We have these oleander bushes. When we first moved into the house, there were these two like shrubs right in front of the house, and I was like, ugh, these bushes, they're so ugly. I wanted to replace them, and I ripped out the shrubs and I put these oleander bushes in. And at first, the oleander bushes were, maybe 2 feet high, 1 foot wide. 10 years later, they're about, 6 feet wide and 10 feet high. And Ken bought a new car about 3 months ago or so. His car was a 2005 Nissan Altima, and it was time for an upgrade. So he bought a new car, and now he's like freaking out. Oh my god, these oleander bushes are gonna scratch my car. Blah 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 blah. So we have a landscaper coming to rip them out. So once that guy gets here, I'm gonna have to go because I do not want you guys to be listening to. Unfortunately, my game room is right above where that would be happening, and I don't want you guys to have to listen to chainsaws and people out there ripping out plants and all this kind of stuff and all that. So yeah. Let's see. So a couple of things that I want to talk about before we get started today, and I actually want to have a topic of conversation today. Normally, I don't have a topic of conversation at all. Normally, I am just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants, if you know what I mean. And I actually want a topic today. So, the topic of conversation that I want to talk about is in relation to the top 10 list that I put out today, or that was scheduled to go out this morning. And the top 10 list, it was going about the best RPGs of famous franchises, and then another one and it was a companion to a Black Sheep video that I put out about a month ago. So so guys, if you haven't watched that video yet, please do, and then we can really talk about this. So in both videos, I really tried to put my opinion aside, and I've already seen comments like, oh, he got sick of people, bashing him in the comments about, putting out his opinions and all this. And no, that's not it. Basically, it was just like I have over 100 top 10 lists now. Like, I've been doing this for a long time. I have over 100 top 10 lists, and the vast majority of them are my opinion. I am not afraid of sharing my opinion, but every once in a while, I will take the opinion of the masses. There is, I have many times said on my top 10 lists, like, this isn't my favorite one, but I could put my opinion aside and, talk about this game. I've done that many, many, many times. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that today. So in number 10, we were talking about the Breath of Fire series. And I said that the black sheep of that series was, of course, Dragon Quarter. And then I said that the best in that series was Breath of Fire 3. And again, that's popular opinion. I don't particularly think that um, the best is Breath of Fire 3. I can somewhat maybe sort of agree that the worst is Dragon Quarter. I can kind of see where people are coming from there. I I I kind of get that because it is just so different from the rest of the games in the series. My personal favorite of the Breath of Fires is probably, for the most part, probably my personal favorite is Breath of Fire 2. It's just so bright, so cheery, so fun. Um, it doesn't have like mini games dragging it down like Breath of Fire 4 does. Although Breath of Fire 4 is really good too. I do like that. So yeah, I am reading your guys' comments after this. As I'm talking and going on through, I am reading your guys' comments. Don't think that I'm not. Um, but yeah, then we went into the Mana series for number 9, and I said that the worst one, the black sheep, was Dawn of Mana. But then the best one was Trials of Mana. And for this one, I will say that I agree. I agree with the masses here. Dawn of Mana is a pile of dog shit. It is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. I hate it so much. Like, I cannot explain to you how much I hate Dawn of Mana. The stupid havoc physics thing, and everything's flying all over the place, and you're trying your best to level up and fight enemies and doing all this. And then whenever you finally get to the end of the stage, what happens? You lose all your stats. It's so ridiculous. I hate Dawn of Mana. It's so bad. Oh god, it's so bad. Trials of Mana, though, or Seiken Densetsu 3, whatever it is that you want to call it, that one is great. I think that that's wonderful. It basically took everything that Secret of Mana did, and it added to it. It added a bigger world. It added a class change system. It added multiple different party members. It added 3 different story paths, so you can play through it 3 different times and get 3 different, kind of outcomes and all that. So yeah. Oh, donation from Caesar the 17th. Hopefully I read that Roman numeral correctly. Caesar says, "Great energy, David. Watch you for a while now. Thanks for everything. Any scope for a live Let's Play? The Shining Force 2 mods are really fun to watch." I believe that, Caesar, you're talking about a live Let's Play in regards to me live streaming a game. I would only imagine that that is what you're referring to. And I actually have thought about this. As the channel grows and my responsibilities grow along with them, I'm only one person. There is no assistant here. There's no one behind the... Well, I guess you could call Ken an assistant because he's my tech support guy, but he doesn't know anything about video games. So, so he's not exactly, the best assistant ever as far as that's concerned. But yeah, as my responsibilities grow, like it's starting to become overwhelming. It really and truly is, and I don't want to say that insofar as, because like I've heard people, like, I remember, I'm gonna take you to the Wayback Machine right now. H.C. Bailey would do his Let's Plays, and I would sit there and I'd watch his Let's Plays, and I remember there was one time, and I think it was right around the time that he was doing, maybe it was Final Fantasy VIII, and he kept on saying, like, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break. Oh, I finished this disc. I'm gonna take a break. And he kept, and there was this one point where he took a 6-month break. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I love you, H.C. Bailey, but how hard is it to record a freaking Let's Play? And, like, me as a viewer, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking that, and I'm sure many of you are probably thinking the same thing. How hard is it to record a Let's Play? How hard is it to do this? This shit takes time. Like, holy crap. This stuff takes time. And, as far as doing a live Let's Play, there's a portion of me that either I'm kind of getting to the point where the options are either A, stop doing a Let's Play because it's becoming overwhelming with the daily upload thing. It really does become overwhelming at one point. Or B, maybe just do like 2 streams a week, but like stream the actual Let's Play and maybe be on the stream for a good hour and a half to get like a lot of progress. So those are some options that I'm kind of weighing in my mind. Donation from Joseph E.M. Thank you, Joseph. All of my original girls out here. I love it. He says, what ending of an RPG do you think is the saddest? Oh my god. You know what? Sorry about that. So the other day, I was talking about how I started building a top 10 list, and I showed you a post-it note, and I don't know what happened on the post-it note, but I showed you a post-it note of how I had an epiphany of a new top 10 list about JRPGs that take place in Tokyo or take place in Japan or whatever. And I showed you the little post-it note. I'm still working on that top 10 list. I'm still writing the script. But this is funny that you bring that up, Joseph, because I actually started another little epiphany of a top 10 list right here. How can I make this on the screen? Right here in the corner of my piece of paper, right there. And if you look on the top, my handwriting's god-awful, but it says saddest. And it's different sad times in various RPGs that I'm thinking of. And it just so happens that one of the saddest portions that I put on this list right here was the ending of Lufia 2. So yeah, my top 10 lists start off as jots on a post-it note, random ramblings on a portion of a page. I have random pages just strewn about on my desk, you know. It's just kind of crazy how the things start out, and it's a disorganized mess, but eventually I turn it into, a Word document and then a video, and it all just starts off with, oh, I think that might be a good topic. Saddest, So, speak of the devil right there. Yeah. Let's see, where was I at in my topic? I'm trying to remain on topic. It's like whenever I tell my class and we're having a discussion about something, I'm like, you need to keep your questions on topic. And they try to veer me off topic, and no, you stay on topic. Okay, although the donations they veer me right off topic. I just go off on a tangent. Next on my list, as far as the black sheep of the Dragon Quest series, I said it was Dragon Quest II. And I said that the best one was Dragon Quest V. And I still stand by that. If you were to bring in spin-offs of the Dragon Quest series, like Dragon Quest Monsters, or Dragon Quest Swords, or Dragon Quest Tact, or blah, 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 then I might say, okay, really the worst Dragon Quest is probably Dragon Quest Swords. But the best, my opinion, and the masses' opinion, I think still stands at Dragon Quest V. That is a fantastic, fantastic game. As Dynasty Girl just said, Dragon Quest V is the best Dragon Quest. That's a cold, hard fact. Girl, facts. Donation from William Booth. I'm all in for a Wheatley night whiskey and JRPG live stream. I don't know if I would combine drinking with gaming, or if I did, it would have to be something that I know by heart. It would have to be something like a Final Fantasy game, like Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy, well, if I say 2, I mean 4, Final Fantasy 3. It would have to be earlier Final Fantasy. It would have to be maybe a Dragon Warrior game, something like that. Something that I could be drunk out of my mind and still be like, oh, I still know exactly what to do because I've played this game 50 million times. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be something like Mother 3 where I've only played twice. It would have to be something like that I've played a million times. Okay, moving right along, staying on topic. From the Final Fantasy series, I said that the black sheep was Final Fantasy 2. Because you know why? You're hitting yourself, you're hitting yourself, you're hitting yourself. And it's boring AF. Like, I am just done with it. It's the story, like, everything. And I know, okay, if it was me, and my personal opinion, because you know what? I've ranked the Final Fantasy series before. I am not afraid of putting my personal opinion out there. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. But because the Black Sheep video and the best videos were about... Oh, I need to mute my computer over here. Because those videos were about... are about opinion of the masses... the masses say it's not Final Fantasy VIII, although I disagree with the masses. They say it's Final Fantasy II. Conversely, as far as the best one is, I personally think that the best one is up there. To me, it's like a tie. It's like the tiniest, most minuscule margin of error separating my top 3 Final Fantasies of Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy VI, and Final Fantasy IX. It is just, like, I love all 3 for different reasons. Final Fantasy V because, job system. I mean, come on, people. The job system, come on. Final Fantasy VI just because it holds such a special place in my heart. Maybe it's nostalgia glasses. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's the atmosphere. Maybe it's the graphics. Like me, I like 2D graphics. To me, SNES graphics are the pinnacle of graphics. I know whenever we went into the PlayStation era, everyone was like, who needs that kiddie 2D? 3D is so much better. And I'm sitting there looking at Final Fantasy VII and I'm like, this shit's ugly as hell. Like, give me the Final Fantasy VI graphics. What happened? Like, we were progressing, and then PlayStation came, and we were like, what? Like, no. Jrpgs, I see you, and I'll get to you. I want to stay on topic for 1 second. Let me finish my Final Fantasy diatribe. So I talked about Final Fantasy V because of the job system, 6 because of just... It's Final Fantasy VI, for God's sakes. And then Final Fantasy IX because... It is gorgeous. It is pretty. The music is ethereal. It's just intoxicating. I love it. I love how everybody has their own job, has their own class. Like, we went from Final Fantasy VII where, build your own character using materia. Or Final Fantasy VIII, build your own character using the job system. Everybody was the same. It was the same. To Final Fantasy IX where it was... Everybody has their own job class. Everybody, they do what they do. There's blue mages. There's secret little enemies to find. There's different places to go to. The world map is involved. Well, at least the Gaia continent was involved. But yeah, there's the tiniest margin between those games. Okay, sorry, Jrpgs, let me get to your donation. And thank you so much for your donation. Oh my God, he actually put in a pronunciation guide for me. Praetorzen. We'll go with that. I think that I'm hopefully there. The best version of Dragon Quest V for a replay. Fan-translated SNES, fan-translated PS2, or DS. I just hate handhelds, but I want to replay it. Let me answer that to the best of my ability. The SNES version is the most basic, of course, and it only allows you to have 3 party members max. So even at the end of the game, you can have the hero, your son, and your daughter, but you can't have your wife in your party. You know what I'm saying? Or you could do, the hero, the son, and the slime knight, because that's probably the best party that there is. But you can't have, like, anybody else. Also, it doesn't have any kind of party dialogue. So because of that reason, I'm going to say no to the SNES version. PlayStation 2 version. I actually Let's Played that on my channel. That was the very first Let's Play I ever did on my channel, was the PlayStation 2 version of Dragon Quest V. Number one, because I love Dragon Quest V. Number two, because I was looking around on YouTube and I was like, nobody else has Let's Played this, so I'll Let's Play it. And I'm sitting there using my little Rosetta Stone microphone, and I remember in like the very couple of episodes, I was like, I said something like, I'm not going to edit out random encounters because I think it's important for you to see random encounters. But the real reason was because I had no idea I had no clue how to edit out random encounters. I had no freaking idea how to do it. So, but I did end up figuring it out. So yeah, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta grow with me, guys. We're all learning here. It's all a learning experience. The PS2 version is good. They added extra monsters. You have a 4-person party. It is a solid remake. And the music, the orchestral soundtrack, is amazing as well. Or the DS version. If you hate handhelds, just emulate it, for God's sakes. No one's judging. Like, there are no emulation police gonna raid your living room for emulating a game, for God's sakes. If you don't like handhelds, just emulate the stupid thing, my God. I am a proponent of emulation. I'm not gonna be one of those people who says that I'm not, whenever I am. I use emulation all the frickin' time. I have a video about emulation and how much it means to me, for God's sakes. It's called, like, the early history of emulation on the internet. But yeah, I would say either fan-translated PS2 or the DS version. Personally, I would sway more towards the DS version just because there is added content. There is the added wife. And I do think that Deborah is the best wife by far. Donation from Stephanie Pollard. Thank you, Stephanie. She says, the PlayStation era, while visually impressive at the time, did not hold up nearly as well as the 2D predecessors. Here's to your Switch fund. Thank you so much, Stephanie, and I agree with you 100%. Let's see. Oh, another donation from Peter Panda. Thank you, Peter Panda. He says, I started with your top 10 videos. 2 days ago, I started watching your Let's Play. Even should have stayed with Mile instead. I love your battle edits. Thank you so much. Yeah, Aiden and Mile is the best love story never told. I really wish that they kind of went that way, but as a JRPG, you know that they wouldn't. But Aiden should have stayed with Mile. They're super cute together. I saw your comment on that, actually, and I think that I loved it. I'm pretty sure that I did, because I remember you said something about you should be able to rename it like Sonic and Tails or something like that, and I thought that was kind of funny. So thank you so much for your donation, Peter. What were we talking about next? Staying on topic. Number 6. We were talking about the Lufia series, and I said that Lufia: The Ruins of Lore is the worst in the series, and I still stand by that. That game sucked. I know a lot of people say that Curse of the Sinistrals is the worst, but to me, if you go into Curse of the Sinistrals without any kind of preconceived notions, without any kind of, I wish that this was Lufia 2, if you just go into it as, pretend like you never played Lufia 2, and then you go into Lufia Curse of the Sinistrals, I think it's a pretty decent game. I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of like an ease game. You're jumping around, you're switching your party members, you're doing God knows what, there's a cool different storyline, there's voice acting, whatever. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Ruins of Lore, though, might as well be a freaking Ambien. Like, it is the most Ruins of Bore. Like, I said it before, I said it again. The Ruins of freaking Bore. That game is boring as hell. Like, it's so boring. The the job system sucks. It's essentially the Dragon Quest VI job system, taken down to even more of a bare bones thing, where you gain job points by, doing battles and all that kind of stuff. But there is maybe 2 or maybe 3 bonus jobs, but it's not even combination jobs. It's not like if you master the knight and the priest, you get a paladin. It doesn't even work that way. It's like if you master the knight, then you just randomly get, like, the Super Knight. You know, it's just like, it's so dumb. It's so stupid. The experience sharing makes it so that you get, like, 2 experience every single battle. They have a, they have, like, a capsule monster system, but, like, it's so unbalanced. The fighter's chance hit is pretty much win the game. Like, it's just awful. It's awful in every freaking sense of the word. And for an awful game, I sure can go into detail on it. Who knew? I played this, like, once for maybe, like, 20 hours. I never got to the end of it. It was terrible. But I certainly remember a lot of details from it from my college years sitting in the library playing Ruins of Lore. Best, Lufia 2. I agree with the masses here. Lufia 2, bar none, best, 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 best. So yeah, that one is fan-fricking-tastic. I just happened to notice this comment from Joseph E.M. He says, Final Fantasy X-2 is made for us gays. Damn straight it was. Dress spheres and, like, and then you get to, like, you know, change your outfits and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's gay party time. Yeah, made for the original girls. Okay. Moving right along. We're going to talk about the Lunar series now. We're at number 5 because we have 17 minutes until this landscaper is supposed to be here. We'll see. I'll stay until he gets here. I'll be able to notice his truck pulling up, I'm sure. I said the black sheep was Dragon Song. And what can you say about Dragon Song that I haven't already said about Dragon Song? It punishes you for running, for God's sakes. Oh, you actually want to move on the map faster? Screw you. You're losing HP. It is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. It is so horrible. You want to fight an enemy? Well, we're going to make you choose. Do you want gold or do you want experience? Like, what the hell is that? So then let's say that you're fighting for experience to gain levels. While you're fighting for experience to gain levels, guess what happens? Your weapon breaks. So you're like, okay, well now I need to fight for gold to gain levels. So then you're fighting for, now I need to fight for gold to get my weapon back. It's like this vicious cycle. I'm going to fight for some gold to get my weapon back. Then I need to fight for experience. Weapon breaks. Fight for gold. Buy a weapon. Weapon breaks. Fight for gold. Buy a weapon. Weapon breaks. It is so bad. So bad. So bad. Where did they go so wrong? God. Best. I said Silver Star Story Complete. Many other people might think it's Eternal Blue. I did put a teeny tiny portion of my opinion into this choice, insofar as that I think that both of them are pretty much completely equal. They are both fantastic in their own rights, but I just find Silver Star Story Complete just to be a teeny tiny bit more charming. And I think that has to do with Luna. I just like Luna better than Lucia. I say that like Galleon. Okay, so I just put my tiny opinion into there, and I thought that Silver Star Story Complete was just a little tiny bit better. Moving right along to the Phantasy Star series. Phantasy Star 3, dumpster fire. That dumpster is roaring. It is horrible. Horrible. Like, bugs weren't even fixed. Instead of bugs getting fixed, they just wrote dialogue into the game. Like, at the very beginning of the game, you can use an escape pipe and you can escape jail. And then the king or whoever is like, normally it's really clever of you to do this, but we're not being clever today. Reset your game, you dumb bitch. And it's like, really? You're gonna write in the dialogue of reset your game rather than just fixing the fricking bug? Like, are you for real right now? Not to mention, it had like the 9 biospheres or however many biospheres that was, where everything looked exactly the same. You'd be like in the desert biosphere and you'd walk into a town and then all of a sudden the town would be green and completely copy-pasted of the very first town, except for, like, changed dialogue. All the houses would be in the same spot. All the people would be in the exact same spot. You could be walking through the ice world, walk into a town, boom, it's green. It's just so ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've seen in my life. It's such a piece of crap. That being said, Phantasy Star 4, one of the best games ever. It's right on up there with the Final Fantasies and the Dragon Quests. The storyline is great. It has, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to say it has an emotional, heart-wrenching scene with a particular death. It is fantastic. Multiple planets, multiple party members to use. It's actually well balanced. There's a macros system so that you can, fight very, very, very quickly. It is a very, very well put together game. Donation from Nelson Mariah. He says, do you like the Arc the Lad series? I have had many people asking about the Arc the Lad series, and I do. However, let's put a caveat in there. I am all for a good tactical game. I'm all for a good tactical game with a good storyline, with well-defined classes. That being said, though, sometimes games can wear out their welcome. And in the case of the Arc the Lad series, most notably Arc the Lad 2 and 3, it can drag on. And I am not a fan of games wearing out their welcome. Sometimes you come in, you tell your story, and you're out the door. Arc the Lad number 1 did a great job of doing that. I think that the second game did an okay job of that, although it did kind of drag at the end. And then at the third one was just kind of like... The third one was just kind of like, oh my god, could you end already? Like, also, the third one was kind of buggy, too. I've got to say, there was some definite bugs going on. There. There were some on the PlayStation 2. I don't think that the ones on the PlayStation 2 were as good as the originals on the PlayStation. So, yeah. What was the one where you had two paths? You had like Arc and Dark or something. I think that was Twilight of the Spirits. I'm pretty sure. And that one, it was more of an action RPG or like, no, I'm sorry, not an action RPG. It was what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't a turn-based tactical system. It was like real time. It was a real-time strategy game. And, that was very, very nicely done. I did enjoy that one. It did not drag. It will not be put into my most boring RPGs list. Do not worry, viewers. Worry not. Similos Van Des says... Oh, he actually put in pronunciation guides for me, too, because we all know that I'm horrible at pronouncing things. Thank you. He says, Similos. And I think I kind of did it right the first time. I'm not really sure. He says, what about playing Skies of Arcadia? I love me some Skies. It is fantastic. I have played that game, I want to say twice. It is a very good game. I like the exploration aspect of it. I like flying around. I like being a pirate, it's a lot of fun. And there is a spiritual successor to it. The only game that I can really think of as a spiritual successor to it would be Nostalgia for the DS, which is criminally underrated. I have played Nostalgia for the DS on my channel. I have Let's Played that. I have not Let's Played Skies of Arcadia. That could be into consideration, but as I've said before, I'm probably going to stick to shorter, more SNES length games for Let's Plays, at least for the foreseeable future, because I don't like whenever games just go on. Where are we talking about? Star Ocean. That's where we're at now. That's where we're at, as we have 9 minutes left until this guy's supposedly supposed to come, but we all know how these people work. They might come early, they might come late, you never, ever, ever know. Star Ocean, the worst, the black sheep. Star Ocean 5. At least Star Ocean 5 didn't wear it as welcome, but it's like the second that it starts, it ends. Like, it's like a 10-hour game. Like, what is going on? What is happening? Like, it literally just, this, as soon as it starts, it ends. And it's horrible. And I remember I Let's Played it. And that was a horrible Let's Play too, I've got to say. The microphone, the audio, there were some issues there, but whatever. I Let's Played it. And I remember as we're going through like the final dungeon, there were these villains that were fighting. And I'm saying, as I'm going through and fighting these villains, I'm like, who are you? I don't even know who you are. And they're like talking during the fight, but I was killing them so quickly that I didn't even was able to like hear what they were saying. Like, you don't even get like a cutscene before the fight or after the fight. They just put the dialogue in the middle of the fight. But if you kill him, you don't even get to hear what he's talking about. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Where did they go so wrong? They had they did so well. With Star Ocean 1 seeing multiple planets, Star Ocean 2 you had 2 planets, Star Ocean 3 you're going, I think there was like 4 planets to Star Ocean 3. Star Ocean 4 you had even more planets. You got to visit Earth, for God's sakes. Star Ocean 5, 1 planet, like literally like 3 different zones. You have like an ice zone, a grass zone, and a desert zone. So those work as your 3 planets, but they're really not. How are you going to go from a game that's competing with the Tales series, where they go on for so long, you have character interaction, you have private actions, you have skits, you have all this, to just some cheaply made dumpster fire, and then you have the audacity, on top of that, to put out an article that says the future of the Star Ocean series hinges upon the success of Star Ocean 5. So let me threaten you right now and say, if you guys don't buy Star Ocean 5, you're not going to get Star Ocean 6. You know how I'm going to buy Star Ocean 5? By you guys you know how I'm going to buy Star Ocean 5? By you guys actually making a good game. If you make Star Ocean 5 good, I'm going to buy it. Like, how hard is that to figure out, you know? I don't know. Like, it's just bad. I put down best as Star Ocean 2. And here I do agree with the masses. Star Ocean 2 is one of the best games in the series. It is the first one released in America. That might have something to do with it. That might have some sort of nostalgia going on. But I thoroughly enjoyed Star Ocean 2. I like the branching stories. I like, choosing the different characters and then, going off and having different people joining you based upon who you chose at the first. Do you choose Claude or do you choose Rena? It was really nice. None of the other Star Oceans had that choice at the beginning, so I think that did a lot in making it just so unique. The private actions were different. There was multiple endings based upon who you chose. It was just very, very, very nicely done. Moving right along to the Suikoden series. I said that the Black Sheep was 4. And I personally don't think that 4 is the worst in the series. I believe that 3 is the worst in the series. And the reason for that is because it's just so boring. It's just so freaking boring. Star Ocean 4, yeah, that's the pirate one. That's the one where you're on the ship, and people say that, you sail around the ocean really slow. But do people not know that you can hold R2 and you can fast forward? I mean, it's really not that bad. And Vicky joins you very early in that game, too. So pretty much once you get someplace, you can just fast travel there. It's really not that bad. It's really not as bad as people make it out to be. It's really not. Thank you for your donation, Charlie Riot. He says, I love these chat streams. Well, thank you so much, Ashley Riot. So, yeah, and the thing is, it's shortened to the point. Whereas Suikoden 3 just goes on forever. And it's just, it just drags. And I am just not a fan of that. So to me, that is the black sheep. It is Suikoden 3, but again, I put my views aside for this, for these two particular collections of videos of the black sheep and the best. So yeah, it's just so boring. And again, length does not make it good automatically. There's something to be said about telling your story, getting in, telling your story, getting out. The soul of writing is wit, being short and to the point, not just like putting in stuff just to put in stuff. And I feel like that was just, yeah, Michael Soretsky says, the moment I saw the duck soldier in Suikoden 3, I lost interest. Every single time that he came on the screen, my eyes about rolled out of my head. That duck was the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And believe me, I have seen some annoying things in my time. But that damn duck, good God. Best in the series. The prevailing opinion is Suikoden 2. My opinion is Suikoden 5. However, it, again, just like with the Final Fantasy opinion, it is the slightest, most tiniest margin between Suikoden 2 and Suikoden 5. And to me, it's just the littlest, tiniest bit is pushing Suikoden 5 over the edge against Suikoden 2. But the prevailing opinion is Suikoden 2. So again, in my best video, I had to put that. Oh, donation from Josh Hogan. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you. He says, yay! First of these I get a chance to see. Well, I'm glad that you're able to join me. Josh, where are you from? Is it the first of the time that you get to join me because you're, living in Europe or you're somewhere where the time zones don't match up? Or is it just happens to be that this is the first one that you watch? I don't really know. But I would like to know where you're from just so I can get so that I can, just know that. I'm just curious. And then lastly, and probably the most contentious one, was the Tales of series. As far as the Black Sheep, I don't think that anyone's arguing with me that the Black Sheep of the Tales series is Tales of the Tempest. If you have played Tales of the Tempest for 2 seconds, you will know why Tales of the Tempest is so bad. It is just so bad. Your characters don't even look like characters. If you thought that the characters in Final Fantasy VII looked gross, look at them in Tempest. It is just, and to me, I'm not even like a graphics person, but the storyline, it's going. Oh, look, we're at the final dungeon. Boom! It just drops off the face of the earth. It is so freaking bad. The combat system with the 3 characters, it's just like, you name it, it's bad in Tales of the Tempest. It is a completely unfinished beta version of a game. Like, it's not even it is a beta version of a game. It's kind of like where I said that Star Ocean 5 was unfinished. It's the same thing here with Tales of the Tempest. It is an unfinished game. And unfortunately, it is the only game of the Triverse that didn't get remade. For those of you unaware, and Riz, thank you so much for the donation, Riz, before your thing scrolls off the screen. It says, keep up the good reviews and live chat. Thank you so much, Riz S. For those of you unaware, there was, Anthony Geel donates. And he says, can you do a 100% Wild Arms 3 walkthrough? Wild Arms 3 is the only one that I didn't actually do, and I do get a lot of requests for Wild Arms 3, so that might be one that I might take up. But I said before earlier that I might even not even do Let's Plays anymore because of just like the time commitment is there. I'm going to really have to think about this. But I do get a lot of requests for that one, even though I do feel like it is kind of like, I skipped it purposely because it's not one of my favorites, and I like to enjoy what I'm playing, and it's hard for me to go through and do a Let's Play if I'm not enjoying myself. and I found myself just not enjoying Wild Arms 3 because of a multitude of issues, because of the empty world map, because of the search system, because of the boringness of it all. Um, so, so yeah. Man, I'm never going to get to this Triverse story, am I? Jamie Anderson donates and says, I know that you've discussed some of the cringy I should have brought in water. I was doing so good bringing in water, and now I didn't bring in my water. Man. He says, I know that you've discussed some of the cringy gay representation in JRPGs, but what are some of the better examples? Keep up the amazing content. The problem with gay representation in JRPGs is that 99% of it is the cringy part. Off the top of my head, I can think of 2 good gay representations. Just right off the top of my head. I might be able to think of some more if I really think about it, but off the top of my head, I can think of 2. Number 1 is Sylvando, but they make him like a eunuch. They really do. I love Sylvando. He is best boy, and that's God's honest truth. Number 2, Joachim from Shadow Heart's Covenant. He actually comes out flat out and says, yes, I am gay. There is a particular scene that you can get where he flat out says that he's gay. And he is funny, and he is nice, and he is smoking hot, too. He is ridiculously hot. So I love me some Joachim. I want to say that I put him as probably number 1 in my sexiest JRPG characters list that I did. People are saying Makoto in the comments. Yeah, he's gay as hell, but to me, he's just a stereotype. That's all he is. He's just a stereotype. And then, of course, he turns evil. And that's a lot of the problems with gay representation in JRPGs, is that they end up turning evil. Like, you can't have... Who was the one? There was the guy in Tales of the Abyss. What was his name? Josh Hogan says he's from St. Louis, Missouri. So, yeah, that's how he's able to catch the stream. That's good on you. What was his name? Dist. Yeah, Dist. And he was gay as hell, and he was funny, and I liked him, but they made him a villain. And that's the thing, they made him a villain. So yeah. Schwan says Angelica. And yeah, she to me, she's kind of at that fine line of, is she a lesbian, or is she just that JRPG fan service that you know that they love to put in? To me, she didn't feel like a true lesbian. To me, she felt like just fan service. Do you remember that scene in, I think it was Cold Steel 3, it may have been Cold Steel 4, but I'm pretty sure it was Cold Steel 3. They kind of all meshed together in my mind at this point. Where Shirley is hanging out with Duvalie, and Shirley never really had any kind of lesbian tendencies or anything, but all of a sudden she sees Duvalie, and what does she do? She's fondling her breasts, and she's grabbing them, and blah, 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 blah. And to me, that was rapey and gross and fan servicey, and I'm not a fan of that. And quite honestly, I'm going to say it here, that scene in particular, that turned me off a lot from that series. And there was a reason why I only did cutscenes of Cold Steel 4, was because I didn't know if I could stomach doing an entire Let's Play of Cold Steel 4. Number 1, because of the length, but number 2, because of just fan servicey, weirdy, rapey, gross things like that. And maybe I'm not in the majority of the fan base of that particular game. And maybe the fan base likes that sort of stuff. To me, I'm sitting here and I'm like, what? I'm like, really? This is happening right now? I'm like, oh, come on, come on. I haven't told my coming out story, but as someone who has been sexually assaulted, I I am not a fan of that at all. I cannot condone it at all. I cannot even say, oh, it's just a game. Oh, it's just cuteness. Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. Oh, they're just playing. No, I cannot do that as somebody who did, who was assaulted. I just can't. I can't. So, anyway, moving on. Moving on to some like nicer topics. Let's go back to the Tales of Triverse. Um, so Triverse. There was Tales of Innocence, Tales of the Tempest, Tales of Hearts, and they were all released on the Nintendo DS. And then they were going to get remade for the PlayStation Vita. They remade Hearts, and then they released Hearts in America. They remade Innocence. They did not remake Innocence in America, unfortunately. Or they did not release it in America, I'm sorry. They were going to remake Tempest. The one that really needed the remake, they didn't remake. Um, so yeah, that kind of sucks. Honestly, I think that what they should do in this case, and I know that they didn't remake it because it was on the Vita, and yeah, but like, why don't they port or release a collection like a Tales of Triverse collection, port at the PS4 or PS5 or whatever, and that would be a system seller to me. A PS5 port of the Tales of Triverse that has an actual remake of Tales of the Tempest, along with a bundling of Innocence and Hearts. Like, who wouldn't buy that? There's so many people who are like, I really want to play Tales of Tales of Hearts, but I can't because it's on the Vita, and I'm not going to spend the money for the Vita. So, yeah, like I could see that as a system seller. This is me telling you, Namco, make it, make it, make it, make it, make it, make it. Donation from Daniel Malero. Fallout New Vegas had two bona fide gay characters, Veronica and Arcade Gannon. I know Western RPGs aren't your forte, but give it a try. Thank you for your donation. I have not played any Fallout games. I have heard good things about Fallout games. I know that there are other gay characters. Don't get me wrong. I mean, hell, there was a gay character in Phantasy Star 2, for God's sakes. I know that other gay characters exist. Are they good gay characters? Are they represented properly? Or are they just a caricature? Okay, I mentioned Shadow Hearts because of Joachim. And there are other gay characters in the Shadow Hearts series, such as the acupuncturist, I can't think of his name, in the first game. He's gay. There's the two merchants, in Shadow Hearts 2, there's the merchant that follows you around. Can't think of his name either. And he's gay as hell. Then in Shadow Hearts 3 from the New World, the gay merchant gets a boyfriend and they follow you around on the motorcycle and they're ridiculous and they're literally shaking their ass in front of the camera, being just ridiculous. And to me, yeah, they're gay. Is it a good representation? No, because it's just stereotyping, and yeah. Oh, a donation from Bravo Knuckle. Thank you so much, Bravo Knuckle. He doesn't say anything. I wish that you included a little comment so I could, read it out to you and call you out a little bit more, but I do appreciate your donation, Bravo Knuckle. Thank you so much. I just looked at the very bottom of the chat, just glanced down, and Acadia Dragoon says, "Hello, David. What's your opinion on Chrono Cross?" She wants to start a war today. We have an original girl wanting to start a war. Yeah. So I talked about the Triverse. And, oh, Bravo Knuckle says, I don't know why this didn't include my message. Type in your message into the comments, Bravo Knuckle. Type it into the comments, and I will be on the lookout for it. Now, I will try my 100% hardest to look for your comment. Maybe put like a little @ Davidvinc so it highlights my name so I can see your comment. I do want to be able to read out your comment, Prophet Knuckle. I really do. What was I talking about? Tales of Triverse. That was the black sheep, the Tempest. The Tempest was the black sheep. So the best one, I put down Tales of Berseria. This, and I said it in the video. Oh, here's Bravo's Knuckles' comment. I see it right here. It says, hey, David, I just wanted to say what's up, greetings from Finland. You and your videos have really made this COVID BS more tolerable. Please keep up the good work. Also, I really like your door. I didn't even... You're the first person who mentioned my door today. I didn't even... Last time I streamed, I thought about my door. And I was like, I'm going to keep it just a little tiny bit ajar. And that will just drive them crazy, won't it? And then today, I was so... like... The gardener was supposed to come at 9. He didn't come at 9. Ken called him. He said he'll be here at 11. It's now 11:12, and he still isn't here. Who knew? And then I was like trying to I was like trying to get ready real fast, and I was like, I only give myself like a 10-minute window to get the stream set up. That's why I forgot my water. That's why I didn't think of the door. I just was like running around, and I got myself ready. And I sat down in the thing, and you mentioned the door. The door's shut. I don't know why the door is such a big deal. Apparently the door is a thing. But yeah. Anyway, Faroe Islands. Wow, the Faroe Islands. Okay, I was talking about Tales of Berseria. This was the hardest one for me. I do believe that the Tales of series gets better and better and better and better with each entry, with very few exceptions. Tales of Zestiria would be one of the exceptions. Normally, they get, start off with Symphonia, and it can be kind of clunky to play, and then you go to like Legendia, and that, and then it goes to Abyss, and it's getting better. And then Vesperia, and it's getting better. Zestiria is a knockback. Berseria, it gets better. Grace's F was better. The Zillia games, it all just got progressively better. It's like it's like you're walking up the stairs, just small step at a time. So yeah, it's just each gets better and better and better and better. So it was hard for me to determine what I thought. It's easy for me to say my opinion on the best Tales game is. It's easy for me to do that. I have no problems whatsoever expressing my opinion. In fact, I did a top 10 Tales video. It's much harder for me trying to figure out what the masses' opinion is. Oh, we have a donation. Oh, and you know what? And I also want to read this message too. I have a donation and a message that I want to read. And this is a donation from, and I'm going to screw this up, Hiyakamaru. Is that anywhere close to being right? Hiyakamaru has a donation, and there's no message, unfortunately, but thank you so much for your donation. I really do appreciate it. And I have a message that I want to read from Samolis Van Dress. And they say, may I have a happy birthday message from you? I'll be 34 tomorrow. Oh, well, happy birthday. And I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I might. We shall see. I do have a lot of fun streaming, and there are some things that I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about these little Tiffany things back here, but I'm such in a rush today because of this gardener who's never showing up. But yeah, happy birthday. I want to know what you're doing for your birthday. What are you going out to a restaurant? Are you buying yourself a gift? Or, because that's the thing, like, whenever you're older, you end up just buying yourself a gift, and that's just kind of what you do. So I want to know, what are you getting for yourself, or is your significant other getting you something? Are you going are your friends throwing you a party? Tell me what you're doing for your birthday, because I do want to know. Donation from BMF 7831. They say Ni no Kuni series Let's Play. I think 3 times a week or even less per episode for all Let's Plays is absolutely great. I love the Ni no Kuni series. I am a huge fan of it. I've never shied away from saying that I love it. I know that... Okay, here's the deal with Ni no Kuni. I feel like when it first came out on the PlayStation 3, everybody thought it was the best, myself included. And the thing is that the PlayStation 3 era was a dark time for JRPGs. You went from SNES, wonderful, PlayStation, wonderful, PlayStation 2, wonderful, PlayStation 3, oh, there's like 10 JRPGs on the entire system. PlayStation 4, wonderful. Switch, wonderful. So there was this time during the PlayStation 3 era where there really weren't many JRPGs. It was just kind of a drop-off in JRPGs, and it was a dark time for it. So whenever Ni no Kuni came out, everybody was like, oh, this is fantastic, this is great, this is the JRPG that we're all looking forward to. And everybody loved it back then. But now I think it's like, well, the cool kids don't like it. Now they're saying, oh, it's just, oh, it's just crap and blah, 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 blah. And it's cool to hate on it now. But I liked it then, and you know what? I like it now. Timbermaniac, I like your comment. It says, the PS3 seems to be the king of the Neptunia type RPGs. Oh my god, I know exactly what you're saying. I bought one Neptunia RPG. So here's the deal. Idea Factory comes out with Idea Factory is the Kemco of consoles, whereas Kemco pumps out the RPGs on the telephone. Idea Factory pumps out the RPGs on the consoles. And I don't know why this company is popular. I don't get it. I don't frickin' get it. Yeah, the graphics might be cute or whatever, but holy crap. The storylines are nonsensical. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't like them. The gameplay sucks. They're horrible. Maybe they've gotten better. I do remember that there was this... I was reading about back whenever Idea Factory first became a thing in America, back in the PlayStation 3 era. I was reading about it on, it was either Game FAQs or Reddit, or so, I was reading about it somewhere. And then somebody said, Idea Factory is known as Idea Fuck in Japan, and the reason for that is because they fuck up everything that they touch. And man, has a truer comment never been spoken. They fuck up everything. Like, they have... They'll take a good concept. They'll take a good concept of, I represent Nintendo, I represent Xbox, I represent PlayStation, I represent whatever. Sega, I think it was the other one. And that could be a cute concept. That could be a really cute concept. And then they could make like a traditional JRPG out of that. That could be cute. Is that what they did? No. Like, they just fucked it up. Idea Factory. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's the God's honest truth. Somebody else mentioned Compile Heart. And yeah. So I bought the first Hyper Neptunia, whatever the hell it was called, game. And I played it for like maybe 20 hours. And I was like, this is just the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I never bought any more Neptunia, Hyper, whatever's they are. So maybe they've gotten better over the course of the years. I highly doubt it. There was some other game that they came out with called, I think it was like Record of Agarest War. Is that right? I could be saying it wrong, but I think I know what I'm talking about here. And it was a strategy RPG. And you looked at the screenshots of this, and it looked beautiful, and it looked like it had so much potential, and it looked great. And then you actually went to the gameplay of it, and they made it so incredibly overcomplicated for no reason. Like, okay, tactical RPGs in general, just by themselves, just for the nature of being a tactical RPG, is that they are complex RPGs. As the designer of the game, you don't have to go out of your way to make it even more complex than it needs to be. And that's where it lost me. And I am at the point where, okay, the way that I feel about Xbox, where I completely ignore that Xbox even exists, is the way that I feel about these compile heart idea factory games. That's my new that's the new thing I'm going to call it. It is no longer idea factory. It is no longer idea fuck. It is idea factory. I love that. That it has now been decreed. It has been decreed by David. It is now idea factory. And the same way that I feel about Xbox is the same way that I feel about those companies. They do not exist in my eyes. They are not a thing. So even whenever I come up with these like most boring RPGs and they're not on the list, because they just don't exist. They just don't exist. So there was the same way that I create top 10 lists and I think about top 10s and I go on and I write down ideas and I write down lists and I do this, that, and the other. I have an idea for top 10 worst RPGs ever made. And I have considered creating this worst RPGs list for quite a bit of time, actually. Like, I have lists of various games that I know are just the worst. They're just the worst. And I want to come up with 10 games for each console system. Like, for example, on the NES, it's like Princess Tomato and Salad Kingdom. That's definitely one of the worst games. It's just so ridiculous. Final Fantasy II would be one of the worst games on the NES. Stuff like that. On a worst RPGs list, guess what suddenly exists again? Idea Factory. I would put that on a worst RPGs list. So yeah, and I'm definitely thinking about doing a top 10 worst RPGs, but going by console system and going out that way. And we'll see what I can come up with. I might just end up doing it by, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, like I do that sometimes too. You never know. Oh, donation from Haiki Mario again. Thank you so much for your donation. It says, I messed up the last donation and it came out with no message. So I have another. I love your content. How about a video on obscure one and done JRPGs? I actually kind of have some videos like that. I really honestly do. It's called, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's called Top 10 RPGs Needing a Reboot. And then there's another one, Top 10 RPGs Needing, what is it? It's I don't think it's, okay, it might be needing a reboot. There might be another one needing a remake. There's also, I think that there's you'd have to go back a couple of years to find these, but there's another one where I go like top 10 RPGs that like need a sequel. Those lists are definitely out there where I talk about various games that are one and done, but they need a sequel, or they are deserving of a sequel, or they need, a series. And for example, Skies of Arcadia was on one of those lists. Chrono Trigger was on one of those lists because Chrono Cross does not exist and it sucks. I would love a sequel to The Guardian Legend. I would love a sequel to Lost Odyssey, a sequel to Blue Dragon. There are many, many, many games out there that deserve sequels. I have these lists out there that I made years and years and years ago, and you guys can just kind of dig into my channel and dig into years past, because I have over 100 top 10 lists now. So many times people are like, hey, David, did you ever think about this? And I'm like, yeah, I thought about that 4 years ago. I have that list out there. Those lists do exist, and thank you for bringing that up. Oh, Radiant Historia was another one in there that I was like, hey, this game really, really, really needs a sequel. Oh, Michael 3 just brought up, what about Great Greed? I would love a sequel to Great Greed. Great Greed was one of my favorites growing up. I would love a sequel to that. There are so many older RPGs that were just kind of one and done. What about a continuation of the Heaven and Earth saga? Wouldn't that be really cool? Riz S donates, and he says, can anyone come up with a top N64 RPGs list? Funny story. Back whenever I was doing my top 10 worst dungeons videos, and I was going by console generation, it was like top 10 worst NES dungeons, worst SNES, worst PlayStation 2, blah, 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 blah. I hit the time period of where it was N64, the GameCube, and the Wii, and there are so few RPGs during that particular time period that I combined all three of them into one video, and I did top 10 worst dungeons for the N64, for the GameCube, and for the Wii, because there's just so few. If I had to even bring up RPGs for the N64, there's of course Quest 64, which sucks. Aiden Chronicles, Hybrid Heaven is interesting, but kind of unplayable at this point. So the only two that I would say would be worth a damn now would be, of course, Ogre Battle 64, as well as Paper Mario. So, there's those two. Donation from your average New Eurekan. Thank you so much for your donation. He says, I personally find fan service in JRPGs unnecessary and gross. And why are some female characters designed with huge breasts? Is that even necessary? I mean, I get it. I get what these companies are doing. I completely get it. But I also am right with you there. I do also find it unnecessary and gross. And that brings me to something that I would like to talk about. Back in the day, on the SNES, we'll just use the SNES as an example. You're playing your JRPGs, and everybody is an adult. People are adults on the SNES. Fast forward to PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. Basically, once you started getting somewhat more realistic graphics, the characters became younger and younger and younger and younger. You're playing Final Fantasy IV. Who's the hero? Cecil. Cecil is not just any Dark Knight. He's not just some rookie Dark Knight. He's not, he just joined the ranks or anything. He is the captain of the Red Wings. He's an older guy. He's worked himself up into the ranks. He's probably in his 30s. He's looking to marry Rosa. The other people who join you are adults. Yang is the leader of Fabul's army. God, I wish I brought some water in here. Sorry about that. Sid is an engineer. Tella is on death's doorstep. These people are old. You look at Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, Terra might be a little bit on the younger side, but Locke is old. He has life experiences behind him with Rachel. Edgar is the king. Strago is older than dirt. The only people who really join you that are young is like Realm. Shadow, he's an assassin. These people are old. You're getting older people joining you. Lufia 2. Maxim lives with his girlfriend Tia. These are older people. Parents are no longer in the picture. Everybody else who joins you is old. Guy joins you. He has a girlfriend as well. Selen, she's the captain of the Parcelite army, for God's sakes. Lexus is an inventor. These people on the SNES are older people. They are adults. Where did we go from having adults in your party? Where did we where did it go from the standard being an adult to the standard being some 16-year-old teeny bopper? What happened? Personally, I'm not a fan. I like it when the people that join your party are adults. And that to me is why I liked Lost Odyssey. That was one of the selling features of it to me was that they were adults. Explode Smoke X donates and says, "Hey David, here's some money for you to go and get water, LOL. I don't really need money to go and get water, but thank you. I'm afraid that I'm going to get up, go get some water, and then the landscaper guy is going to come and I'm going to have to go and be like, sorry for making you wait. So I'm going to keep on talking until this guy gets here." So, I mean, I know that some people say that, that JRPGs are more adult now because they show tits and ass. That's not adult to me. That's juvenile. Like, having Shirley go over to Duvalie and fondle her boobs, that's not adult. I'm sorry. That's not adult. That's juvenile. That's teenage. That's dumb. To me, that's just dumb. And yeah, Virtual Emerald just said, "I like one of our characters of a good mix of ages join your party." And yeah, that does make it interesting when there's a good mix of ages, but whenever it's like 90% teenagers and then you have one adult, that's not a good mix of ages to me. It's like, I think that there's this meme out there on Facebook that I saw the other day, and it has, and it says like the JRPG people saving the world, and it has like a bunch of 12-year-olds, and then it says like and then the wizened old man, and it shows like Oron or somebody who's all beat up and scarred, and he has a gray beard, and it goes, and he's 23. And it's like, and it's the God's honest truth. They treat people like once you're over 20, oh God, you're older than dirt. I'm almost 40 for God's sakes, and I still feel like I'm, 20. So yeah. Samolus Van Dess says, "Davidvinc, my best friend is buying me takeaway, and I bought myself some beer. We're going to watch season 2 of The Mandalorian. I'll also be talking with my family and getting to see my nephew. So that'd be good. Those are his birthday plans." I like that. I asked him what the birthday plans are, and he responded to me. And I think that's so cute. You get to sit down and have some beer and get some takeaway and talk with your family. Sometimes that's all you can do during this COVID time. Sometimes just getting together and having a small little get together is good enough, and I do like that. Your average New Yorkan. New Yorican. I keep on saying New York. New Yorican. Thank you for your donation. "Yes, I want older protagonists in my RPGs. In Final Fantasy XII, you can feel that Vaughn and Penella were just thrown in last minute. Balthier and Fran forever." That is a fantastic example of what I'm talking about. They were originally going to have, I believe, Bosch be the hero of the game. And then some marketing department came out of nowhere and was like, "Bosch isn't going to sell games. That bitch is like 25. How could he possibly sell a game?" So then they threw in Vaughn and Penello because, teeny bopper goodness and hip hip hooray. And it's just like give me a freaking break. It's just like, I don't know. Like, I prefer... Okay, so getting back what I was talking about. With Lost Odyssey, and you had adult party members in there, that to me was a selling point where, you don't have this stupid little angst. So yeah, I wish that JRPGs would get back to that, go back to their roots, where the people who joined you, or people who joined up with you, or people who were in your party, they were adults. Similis Van Dess says, "Have you thought about setting up members for your channel?" I think I already did. I thought that I had a membership for my channel. I know that I created badges. I don't know how to join. but I'm pretty sure I set up memberships. Because I made these little badges with little Final Fantasy IV characters, so hopefully that sets up the membership. I thought that I did. Maybe I didn't, but I thought that I did. Let me know if you guys can join the channel. I I would like to know if I did it right. Like I said, this is all of a I always said there isn't a join option. There isn't not a member. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I thought that I made it so that you could join. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah. So hopefully next time I go live, there will be an option to join. Also, people were talking about a Discord channel, and I have said before I do not know how to. I don't get Discord. I don't understand it. I have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to understand it. I don't get it. I don't frickin' get it. I don't know if I will ever get it. But my friend Chris gets it. And he told me that he would set up a Discord channel for me. And he told me that he would be free this weekend to come over and set it up for me. So hopefully he'll be able to. I'm going to text him after I get off of this live stream. I'm going to text him and say, hey, what time would be good for you to come over and set up the Discord? And hopefully he'll set that up for me. I don't even know if I will actually get on the Discord, but I would like to have it for you guys. I might be like a lurker on the Discord, because even once he sets it up for me, I still don't know if I'll be able to understand it. To me, looking at it is like a foreign language. I mean, I know that people are saying it's just a message board, and maybe if they called it a message board instead of a server, it might help me wrap my head around it. But I can't figure it out. I really just can't figure it out. I hope that I can get around to it. And I know it says that it's like chat rooms, it's like this, that, and the other, and other people have Discord servers, and Timbermaniac says that he has a Discord server. Maybe I'll make you an admin, Timbermaniac, and you can go through and you can... I can delegate Discord server responsibilities to you, because even though it would be my server, I don't think I would know how to do it properly or run it or set up. Like, I don't know what I would have to set up. I don't know if I would have to like be the one to start the threads and start the discussions. I really don't know. I really have no idea. I don't know anything about it. To me, it's all very, very, very confusing. My friend Justin said that you need like a headset for it. I don't even own a headset. All I have is a microphone, and I really don't feel like getting a headset. And I'm like, I spend so much time on this channel, and I've already talked about this, how the channel is becoming overwhelming to me. I don't think that I could put yet another thing on my plate, if that makes sense to you. I spend a lot of time, I feel like I need to put myself first. I have to be a little bit selfish. I have to put myself first here and say I can't dedicate time to writing scripts and creating daily Let's Plays and video editing for top 10s, which takes an entire day to edit. It literally takes 8 hours to edit a video for a top 10 list. So writing a script, which takes days on end, editing a video takes days on end, doing the Let's Play, and then doing a live stream, and then I feel like, I have to put myself first here, and I'm working a full-time job, and I like to go to the gym, and I need to put myself first, and I can't imagine adding a Discord channel on top, or the responsibilities of a Discord channel on top of that. I just can't imagine doing that. I will set up a Discord server, but I don't think that I could take on the responsibilities of managing the Discord server myself. Does that make sense? I would set it up so you guys can have it and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. But I'm managing enough. Like, I can't add that onto my plate as well. Something's got to give at that point. Supermist says a Facebook page might get more activity. And I understand Facebook. This is the boomer in me coming out. Okay, boomers represent. I get Facebook. I don't get Twitter. I barely get Instagram, but I understand Facebook. Facebook is something that I understand. I've been using Facebook for 10 years now. I get it. I completely understand Facebook. I could make a fan page or something like that for Facebook. That I understand. But it looks to me like y'all want Discord. So yeah, I'm gonna have my friend Chris come over and JustBalla91 Hitta says, let's boom this up and make a MySpace page. I had a MySpace page. I even had a live journal. I mean, I had those things. So yeah. Yeah. Rick Weiss just asked, have you ever thought of partnering with someone so you could work part-time on the channel and still make it grow? What I like about this channel is that it's mine. This channel is mine, and I like that. I grew this channel from the ground up. This channel has always been 100% me, and I cannot even conceive of giving up control over the channel to somebody else and partnering that way. I don't really know how that would work. It's not something that I would like to do. My favorite part about it is that, like, okay, remember whenever I made that honesty and integrity video and I said I'm not beholden to anyone? That's what I like about it. That's what I like about the channel, is that it's mine. There's no one else influencing me. No one else is saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. No one else is doing that. That's not to say that I might not partner with okay, I had a branding company send me an email just the other day because I was it was in the drunk video, and I was like talking about the water bottle that I had, and I pulled up the water bottle and I was like, I normally drink out of this little carafe because it has the ounces. And a water company sent me an email and was like, I see that you're talking about water on your channel. We would like to partner with you about water. Like, I could see myself partnering with like a water company, because how is a water company going to influence my channel? It's water, for God's sakes. It's not like I'm partnering with Square Enix and then I'd have to make skewed reviews saying like this Square Enix game is amazing. It's fucking water, you know? My God. Riz S donates and says, I would love to see a survival horror JRPG. The closest that I've gotten to survival horror on my channel has been the first Shadow Heart game. Yeah, so if you want to see a survival horror JRPG, I would go there. If you're looking for yourself for a survival horror JRPG to play, I would highly recommend the Shadow Hearts series in general. There's also Sweet Home on the NES. That was a Japan-only game, but it was translated into English. It can be rather hard. I've only played a couple of hours for itself because survival horror JRPGs normally aren't my cup of tea. They aren't really my thing. There's also the SMT series, which can be fun. But I think I've said that before on my channel, that for the most part, that isn't exactly my cup of tea either. Although I did like Nocturne. But the earlier SMT games are not... They're dungeon crawlers. They're first-person dungeon crawlers, and I just can't. You know, I just can't. So yeah, I might actually partner with that water company. That might actually be a good thing to do, because like I said, I drink water during these streams. I need water during these streams, and it's a freaking water bottle. What's a water bottle going to influence? I think that might be a fun little thing to do, and I wouldn't be giving up any control whatsoever of the channel. I would just be getting some cool water bottles, you know? Nothing wrong with that. I want some water bottles. Yeah, you can never have enough water bottles. Why not? Joseph EM says, is it the coldest water bottle? Someone hit the nail on the head. It is the coldest water bottle. So yeah, I might just do that. I think that might be fun. It would be my first partnership I've ever done. I can figure out how partnership works. I've never done anything like that. I have had, I don't even know what they're called. Branding companies, I guess. I've had branding companies approach me, and they've been like, we're going to help you grow your channel. We're going to help you grow your channel, and we're going to like partner with you and send you like a branding person who's going to talk with you one-on-one and blah, 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 blah. And I've emailed them back, and then they say like, yeah, all you need to do is like turn off, they either say you need to like turn off your monetization, or you need to give us like a split of your monetization. And I'm like, fuck you. I ain't giving you jack shit. Are you going to come to my house and do my Let's Plays for me? Are you going to come to my house and write my 5-page top 10 scripts for me? Are you going to play a game for 40 hours and then write a review for me? No, you're not. So I'm going to give you a split of the pittance that I get on my stupid YouTube channel? Fuck you. No, you ain't getting one red damn cent. No, that's ridiculous. So anybody out there, and I will tell you this, when I first started my YouTube channel, I would get them all the time. And I remember the first time I got one, I had maybe 100 subscribers. And I got this email from some company. And they said, we really have noticed your channel taking off, and you know, we think that you have so much potential, and we'd love to partner with you. You just need to turn off your monetization, and you'll get 40%, and we'll get 60%. But in return, you're going to get so many more subscribers, and you're going to grow your channel. And I only had like 100 subscribers, and I was very, very, very new to YouTube, and I thought like, oh, they're gonna really make me grow my channel? This might be a good thing to do. This might be really good. I am here to tell you, if you are just now starting out on YouTube and you have a small amount of subscribers and you are getting emails from branding companies, block those bitches. Do not respond. They are nothing but scam artists. They are 100% scam artists. Because like I said, unless they are going to drive to your house and review a game for you, or play a game for you, or do something like that, they don't deserve a damn dime. Yeah, so never, ever, ever do that. Sponsors, though, I might just email them. I might just do that. I think that would be a, Oh, the Kaseki Nut is in here. Oh my god, the Kaseki Nut. I love your videos. Oh, I'm gonna fangirl right now. Oh, the Kaseki Nut's in here. Hello. Yeah, if y'all don't know, the Kaseki Nut makes all sorts of videos about, the Trails games. He makes all sorts of videos about the Trails games and lists about them and just all sorts of stuff. He's He's such a good little guy. I do like your videos. Thank you, and hello, Kaseki Nut. That's my little shout out to you. Yeah, Falcon videos in general. So yeah. And I will say this: a lot of people have been like, do you partner with other YouTubers or do you give shout outs to other YouTubers? And I don't give. I normally don't. I really don't. Um, Timbermaniac says, I'll write up your top 10 worst N64's RPGs list. Please do. Email it to me. I would love to see that. I'll give you credit. That would be hysterical. I would love to see that. Oh God, guess who just pulled up? It's the gardeners. I have like 5 minutes. Okay, so the gardeners just pulled up. Thank God 10 is, or Ken is downstairs here. But, okay, so normally I never mention other people or any other comments unless like I really do like them. So, yeah, I mentioned in Kaseki Net because I really do like you, so there. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, there's the doorbell. I've got to go, guys. The landscaper's here finally. He's only 52 minutes late. But Ken's here. Ken's gonna answer the door. But they're probably gonna be starting up their power tools. In I would imagine 2 seconds. So yeah. I'm not lying. You all heard the doorbell. I really gotta go. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this early stream. I had a lot of fun. I always have a blast during these little live streams. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a really good time, and maybe we'll get to see a bottle of water here next time. Bye, guys. Let's see. End stream.